Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be working on my Fernandes LD-95 KK Ken signature guitar. Going to be changing some pickups. So I actually already changed the bridge pickup. It's got a Fender Fat 50s. And one interesting thing you can note, in case you get a used one, is Fernandes pole pieces are flat, at least on the love driver models, whereas the Fender ones are different heights. So if you get one with different heights on the pole pieces, chances are they're not stock pickups. So not sure how well you can see that, hopefully. But anyway, so first thing I'm going to do is be taking off the whammy bar. My whammy bar is nice and stiff, so I can put it where I want it and it'll stay there. And the way I did that was I got some Fender Tremolo arm tension springs, and I cut a little triangle out here so I could just squeeze them out. But these springs are super tough. You can't bend them with your fingers, and all you do is just drop one in the armhole, screw the arm down, and then you got a solid arm. It's not going anywhere. Also, if you happen to get a love driver that doesn't have the bar, this isn't the original bar. This is actually a bar from a Fender Mexican Strat. They're metric, so if you need to get a replacement bar, don't worry about trying to order one from Japan. Just pick up a regular old Mexican standard Strat bar. Now, you might notice that the tone control kind of pokes up more than the other knobs. That's actually a push-push pot, and what it is, it engages the neck pickup. So normally you could have, the bridge plus middle, middle plus neck, and then neck. But what this does is it engages the neck pickup so you can have it on at the same time as the bridge pickup, for example. So kind of like a Telecaster, how it has the middle position. Now, an interesting thing about the 95 KK is that it actually only has a 3-position switch. So I don't know why. You can still, like the old-fashioned Strats, position the switch in between, even though there isn't actually a notch there for it. And you can tell when it's working because the hum cuts out, because of the hum canceling effect of the middle pickup. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is swapping out these pickups for Fender pickups, which I already did here. This is a Fender Fat 50s, a custom shop Fat 50s. This one's going to be a custom shop Fat 50s also, and then this is going to be a custom shop 69. And the reason I settled on those particular pickups was I did a little bit of research, and I determined that Ken's first Fender custom shop model had the hand-wound versions of those pickups. So 2 Fat 50s and then a custom shop 69. And I did consider doing the Kinmans. If you recall, he had that guitar, the super special edition Love Driver, that had the funny looking girl painted on it. Um, Yeah, it was one of their single covers. And that one had Kinman woodstocks in it. Now Kinman now calls the woodstocks the Jimi Hendrix set, so if you happen to go looking for them, that's what they are. But those are noiseless, which I believe are going to be stacked humbuckers, and I already have one guitar with Fender vintage noiseless in it, so I thought it'd be nice to have some regular old real single coil pickups. So that's what we're going to have here. So here we have the Fat 50s for the middle position. Notice the yellow wire for the reverse wound, reverse polarity. And then this is the Custom Shop 69. So that's what we're going to be putting in here. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out, because I was getting ready to take the strings off, is I actually swapped out the original vintage style tuners with the holes down the center for a set of Godo vintage style locking tuners. So they look like the old tuners with the slots on the top, but that's actually just a slot, and the string actually goes through the hole like a regular string, through like a regular tuner, I mean. So if you break a string, you actually unlock the tuner by putting like a coin or another flat item in the slot and turning it, and it just pops the lock open inside of here. You can pull the string out. Now, something I wanted to mention about the Godo locking tuners is that they came with two different sets of these bushing things here, the ferrules, and neither set actually fit into the guitar. They came with a tool to push them out from the back, and the tool is actually too big for the holes. Now the instructions for the Godo tell you not to use the original ferrules, but if I hadn't used them, I wouldn't have had anything to use. So I examined them really closely, and I determined basically that the diameter of the original Love Driver ferrule bushing things was the exact same size as the ones that came with the tuners. The inner diameter. So even though the outside was much larger, the inside they were exactly the same, and there wasn't any mechanical functionality to them whatsoever. So it wasn't like, you know, there's a special mechanism or anything inside. They were just smooth, regular old but yeah, they were just smooth, regular old barrels. So we've got the guitar open. You can see here where I previously shielded all the cavities, and the Custom Shop Fat 50s there. And you can see here where I put in a Russian paper and oil capacitor. So now we just gotta take these stock pickups out and put the new ones in. Alright, so we've got the two Fat 50s in here, and the Custom Shop 69 here. And Custom Shop 69 actually has the date and Abigail Ibarra from the Fender factory's initials on it. Apparently she's been there since like was there since like the 50s and retired in like 2013. So I wonder if they're not making these anymore. But anyway, it's all wired together. It's kind of a pain getting the neck pickup wired back in with the extra wire that goes to the push pot. But it's all in there now, so just got to test it. Alright, so we have the guitar back together. All the Fender pickups are installed, and I'm getting ready to test it. I also wanted to mention that I installed these raw vintage springs I used all four. These are actually the old springs. Also, I swapped out the bridge saddle height adjustment screws for shorter ones, and that way when I palm mute, I don't have those screws poking me in the hand. So that's nice. Okay, so since I'm doing Fender pickups on a Strat style guitar, I thought it would be fun to get the Fender recommended specs for a pickup height and try to set up the pickups at those heights to start with. So I have my handy dandy action gauge here that I got from Amazon.com for like $6. And I'm using the millimeter side, and Fender specs were 2.4 millimeters on the bass side and 2 millimeters on the treble side. So what you want to do is fret the last fret and then measure from the pole piece to the bottom of the string. So obviously this isn't perfect, but I'd say it's round about, looks like, whoops, maybe 2 millimeters. So we'll lower it a little bit more. Then look again. Whoops. So I'd say that's a little bit closer to 2.4, 2.5. It's not science. Well, it is science, but it doesn't have to be exact. And then this one looks to me like it's almost 2 millimeters. It's interesting to note that they have you position the side under the low E farther away than the high E to compensate for the thickness of the string. Alright, so let's try again. Not quite there yet. Okay, I think I went a little bit too far that time. And obviously you want to be really careful with the screwdriver. If you can't see where you're putting it, you don't want to scratch anything. And that looks to be right at about 2 millimeters. Give it one more tiny turn. And I have a digital caliper I can use, but this is fine. I'm sure I'll be tweaking it later to depend on the sound, you know, depending on what it sounds like, I mean. But anyway, that'll give you some idea of how to go about adjusting pickup heights if you want to use specs and tools and stuff like that. Otherwise, there's plenty of videos on how to use your ears to do it. Alright, so we've got the guitar all set up. Pickup heights are adjusted. Basically did pretty much exactly what Fender said for the vintage style spec, except I raised the bridge pickup a little bit higher, like maybe a quarter turn on both sides, just to get a little bit closer to how I like it. Now, so that's the bridge pickup. So yeah, it's pretty much back together and acting like you'd expect it to. So that's the bridge. Here's the middle. Here's the neck. That's the neck and middle. Bridge. And then there's hard to reach in between positions. Bridge. In between. So that's between the bridge and the middle pickup. And middle. And then neck plus middle. Neck. And then the bridge plus neck. Alright, so that's pretty much everything that I wanted to show you. If I'm hard to understand, or if I don't make any sense at any point during the video, my apologies. I was very tired when I made it. But yep, everything's back together. Guitar sounds great, and it worked out good. So anyway, I hope it's helpful. If you have any questions, post them in the comments, and thanks for watching.